Okay, I got to talk to you about this Virginia Giuffre, okay? And I've got to speak in code because this is YouTube. We have to speak in code, okay? Okay? Now, we really can't say what we really think. Now, we think we can say that, but we can't. If you and I were detectives and we were a part of this case, what you and I would be saying as two battle-seasoned pros would not be allowed in the world of YouTube, because we have to live in this kind of a nicey world where we have to say, it's not just YouTube, but I mean just in general, where you got to say alleged every 5 seconds. Alleged. Look, let's start off with this. Did somebody try to whack her? That's the story. Was this a hit? Okay, let's look at the case. She was hit by a bus going whatever amount of speed it was. Is that out of the ordinary? No. I've been involved in personal injury cases where clients were hit by buses and ambulances. Is it? No. Is this the way to score a hit? If this is the target, if this is somebody who says, okay, let's get her. We've had enough. Let's wait till we wait to get that crazy bus driver. I mean, what? Okay, it's a great way to scare somebody, but you're going to get a bus driver? Who was going to be saying, who paid you? What would happen? Look, this is all possible, probable, but you got to ask yourself, in the world that we live in, is there not anyone anywhere who is involved in something that is at all rational? Seriously, rational? Is this, would they do this? Would they get this person? I mean, come on. I don't know. I can't figure this out. I can't. It doesn't seem likely, but then again, what does it look like? Who would have done this? Who? Prince Andrew? People say, well, it's Prince Andrew. Why? They already settled up. They already paid her. He's done. He's finished. I mean, I don't know. But let me tell you, we'll just jump to the big picture. Let me tell you the reaction that's happening, what you got to think about. Irrespective of who did it, you're not going to find anybody who's some crazed, black op hitman who drives a bus. Come on. But here's the story, and this is a critical thing, which you have to understand and kind of grasp here. What's really interesting about all this is that you look at the following in context of what we heard when the files were going to be released. The Epstein files. At long last, the Epstein files. We're going to get to the bottom of whatever it is we're getting the bottom of. We're going to get to the... Okay, all right. We're going to... Yes, I know. We're going to get to the bottom of this. By God, we're going to get to the bottom of this, and we're going to figure this out, and we're going to... Okay, we're going to do that. Now, what do you think would be the likelihood now? Let me rephrase that. What do you think someone is thinking now who might be in the process of coming forward, testifying, shining a light on this, adding testimony? What do you think is the likelihood now? Ask yourself. Right now. And also, I don't want to go through the specifics of the actual picture. I don't want to, it sounds cruel, but ask yourself this interesting question. Is there anything about the, how do I say this? Is there anything about the story that makes you say, this is odd. This is weird. This is strange. This just doesn't make any sense. Anything? Is there anything about this at all that makes you say, this doesn't make any sense? Her story, it's almost, I don't want to say goodbye, cruel world. I'm not, but believe me, I'm not in any way trying to minimize this in the least, or to be jocular or joking in the least. But you have to ask yourself this question. The way she phrased this, the way she wrote this, the way she stated this, the way all of this, does it not seem to you odd? Where it's been great. I'm sorry. It sounds like I'm making a joke out of this. I'm not. The look. Who took this picture? I could have sworn when I saw that, I thought it was like a morgue shot or something. But then there's, look, I don't know what you're supposed to wear in the hospital. I don't know. I don't know anything about how this photo was composed. I don't want to, you see, whenever you show any kind of incredulity, any kind of question, you sound mean. You sound like you're, and I'm not one of these folks who finds conspiracies where they really don't exist. That's not my deal. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm about. What I'm about is something a little different. What I'm about is something more interesting. What I'm about is to look at this and ask yourself, isn't this odd now? And I hope beyond hope she's fine. It doesn't make any sense. Now you would be doing something with her? Now after the fact? Unless, again, it doesn't make any sense to me. Look, because I have this idea that when you are dealing with people theoretically at these levels, okay, you ask yourself the following. You ask yourself, what do you think is the chance of these folks employing such rough and inaccurate means of dispatching individuals? If you're dealing with people, heads of state, shadow government, deep state, whatever, bus drivers, and I don't even know. And I'm sorry to say this, the sloppiness of how it was said that they were going to drop the story. What am I trying to say? Drop the files. Remember when they were going to do this? We were so excited. I don't know what people imagined. Finally, and we've got him. And even Pam Bondi said, I've seen this and it's horrible. It's terrible. What happened to it? Whatever. That's it? It's like, what about the JFK files? Whatever happens to these things? I don't understand anything. People want a sense, I don't want to say closure, but people want there to be a sense of some type of finality to this. Something that closes this once and for all. That's what we're talking about right now. And there's no way around it. There's no way around it other than to say, that's what we want. That's the thing that we want. We have been led astray. This Epstein case has been, put it this way, look at the people who've been involved. And we're never talking about this. Who were the people involved? Epstein, of course, who was, he was dispatched. He was taken out. It was not self-harm. You know it. I know it. We all know it. For the love of God, okay? Please. Let's just stop this. That's number one. Number two, Ghislaine Maxwell. She gets basically sent away for trafficking, but we don't know who, with whom. Nothing happens. Some people have suggested she may not even be there. I don't know. People love to say things like that. Then you had Les Wexner. Whatever happened with the Ehud Barak? You had not an Israel per se connection, but people who were connected to Israel or who had connection. Alan Dershowitz, I'm not saying he's involved in any type of activities. In fact, there was a suit which was dropped based upon misidentification or what have you. But you've got all of these people, and you had all of that evidence, which theoretically, did somebody ever seize? When the FBI went in, did they do an inventory? These are questions I have been asking. And then we get sent down these rabbit holes, like the Black Book. The Black Book. Yes, the Black Book. We're going to have to get... Who cares about the Black Book? Oh, no, we're gonna get to the... I really don't understand this. What does that have to do with anything? We know who these people... A name... There were people who went... Families who went to various... That's not going to do anything to you. And if there's anybody around today who is still willing to testify, theoretically, what do you think they're going to tell? They've already settled. Or they've moved on. And they're going to testify against whom? When? Many of these people say, look, I'm tired of this. I'm done. It's over. You never put the case on before. Now, all of a sudden, look, this thing is a mess. All I know is answer my final question. The question. If anybody has the slightest inclination to help or to assist or to provide information regarding this, who in their right mind would be a part of this now? Who in their right mind would come forward and say, yes, I want to do this, especially after the key witness who supposedly settled, she gets hit by this mysterious bus. Look, you know and I know this case stinks to high heaven. And you know what's going to happen with it? Nothing. We're going to talk about it. We're going to pretend that we're getting somewhere. We're going to talk about the intrigue and the levels, but nothing's going to happen. It never does. The JFK investigation, nothing. RFK, please stop bringing that MLK, RFK. Don't do this anymore. Don't say we have boxes of files. And then we say, hey, where are those files? Hey, Cash Patel, where are the files? I don't know. By God, we got to get to those files. That's amateurish. That does nothing. And all it does is whatever inclination and predilections and predispositions that people have regarding the belief that there is something very wrong going on here, this does nothing but fortify it. It fortifies it. It pursues it. It makes it worse. It aggravates it. It intensifies it. It's worse now than ever. There are, quote, conspiracy theorists now that you never even thought. They're at levels we can't even imagine at this point because of this. Every time we turn around, there's something more. And then once we say this doesn't make any sense, then we're chided and we're upbraided and we're laughed at for daring to point out the obvious. What do you think, my dear friend? What's your take? I've had a series of questions I've posed for you. Answer all of them or none of them, or let them ask as inspiration, but I want to see your comments. And I ask you specifically right now to comment as you see fit.